Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Conklin. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Episcopal High School, and I'm here with our head basketball coach, Jim Fitzpatrick, and a couple of his players. And we're here to learn more about our boys basketball program. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Coach Fitz and the boys to introduce themselves.
Mr. Conklin, thank you for having us. We're excited to be here. I'm going to go ahead and kick this to the fellas and let them introduce themselves first, and then I will talk because they'll be the first ones to tell you sometimes I talk too much. So without further ado, let's move this along to Mr. Johnson. And Mr. Johnson.
Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Darius Johnson, and I came into Episcopal as a freshman. I was born in Maryland in the Germantown area, and I'm in the class of the 2021 graduate, and I'm moving forward to University of Central Florida.
Hey guys, my name is Garrett Johnson. I'm also a senior, but came last year as a new junior from Oakton, Virginia, and I'll be going to Princeton to play basketball next year.
And before I talk about myself, I am going to expand a little bit on the two young men that are here with us this afternoon. Not only is Darius a future collegiate basketball player and an impressive basketball player, he is also a track and field champion for Episcopal High School. Isn't that right, Darius?
Yes, sir.
And Garrett is also one of the most high-achieving academic students we have here. So just to brag on them a little bit about their exploits outside of the basketball court as well. And then, of course, both fine young men and upstanding guys on campus who faculty and students alike love being a part of their life. So we love having them here. My name is Jim Fitzpatrick. I'm the varsity boys basketball coach at Episcopal. I've been here for 16 years. And served as the head coach. This is my 15th year. My first year, I was fortunate enough to work with our previous coach, Tim Yeager. I'll start there with our coaching staff. I am fortunate enough to coach with three other individuals who are all equally as impressive. Devon Kelly, Jamar Betts, and Jonathan Lee, who is also an Episcopal alum and works in the admissions office. All three gentlemen have incredible basketball knowledge. All three played at the collegiate level, just like I did. So I do feel like this is a player-led program because the coaches were players themselves at one point. We love to have fun. We love to work hard. We love to compete. And our coaching staff and the relationship with the players and coaches is what the foundation of this program is built upon. We know that whether we win games or lose games, we always are a family before, during, and after games or practices, and that's what keeps us coming back. We're the longest tenured staff in our league, and hopefully it'll continue that way for many, many years, hopefully during your time at Episcopal. To talk a little bit about the program, we have three levels of basketball teams in the program here. We have our junior level, which is comprised of mainly freshmen, the occasional sophomore. We have a junior varsity level, which again is mainly freshmen, sophomores, and the occasional junior. And then the varsity level, which is the highest level of competition that we have here, which quite frankly is usually comprised of juniors and seniors, but we've had freshmen on the team, just like Darius was, and certainly sophomores. So it's about ability, it's about your readiness to play, and that's an important distinction. So all three levels, both junior, JV, and varsity, are competitive. We all play games. The junior team and the JV team will play fewer games than the varsity team, but it's a competitive program, and it is a lot of fun for the guys. But it depends on your readiness and your level of play and physical ability about where you will end up year to year. We are fortunate in that we have great facilities at Episcopal High School, and you're going to kind of see those as I scroll through our video. In our facilities, we have two main competition gyms. You can see them on the court now. We have Centennial Gymnasium with Ainsley Court, and we have the Hershey Gymnasium. The reason this is so important is because our teams can practice at the same time each day. So our afternoon option program runs from 3:45 to about 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. We always have plenty of space available for all of our teams and for the girls program. We also have a field house that has 3 full basketball courts in it. So we have some overflow in there for sometimes the freshman and JV teams, which is terrific. But as you can see from the pictures, it is an incredible facility, both not only for practice, but also for games. Taking a look at our locker room there, state-of-the-art locker room, state-of-the-art fitness center and weight room. in which our players do take advantage of at all three levels. And then, of course, our Hall of Fame, which hopefully these two young gentlemen that you're seeing here will be a part of someday. And before Coach Conklin gets into the question and answer, I do want to be very clear about what we're looking for members of our basketball program on the boys' side. We look at character first. Obviously getting into Episcopal High School is the biggest part of that checklist, but we want to coach really good young men the same way that they want to be a part of a coaching staff that has high character. We want hard workers. We want guys that are coachable. And most importantly, just being able to compete and being good teammates. And just, again, like I mentioned earlier, treating this like a true family. So, Coach Conklin, hopefully that wasn't too long-winded. I'm going to kick it back to you and get into this question and answer portion.
That's great. Thanks, Coach Fitz. And I'll start with a few questions for the boys. Darius and Garrett, can you just talk a little bit about what it's like to play on the basketball team, kind of what you enjoy about that experience?
Playing on the basketball team is very fun. I mean, you have a lot of memories together. The goal is every year to win championships, and the process that you go through from the start of the year to the end of the year, it's just a fun process, and it's fun to be around those guys and enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah, going off what Darius said, I mean, just the bonding you get with your teammates, living together on dorm and then practicing with each other and competing. We definitely became like a really tight-knit unit, and it's a lot of fun for sure.
Coach, a good question for you. Can you talk about, we'll have some students that are coming in and athletes that are beginners and maybe not as much experience, and then you've kind of got the higher end basketball player like we have here today. Can you talk about what it might look like, the path for each type of experienced player?
It's a great question. And let's start by making sure everybody who's watching understands that Darius and Garrett that you're seeing right now, this is sort of the finished product, right? These are two young men that have worked really hard, not only in their basketball game, but on their physical ability and their conditioning over several years of high school. And then they're getting ready for the next level, which is college. So for those students that come in ninth grade, 10th grade, it looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit different physically and where you are maybe in your game, but it doesn't change the process. So for young players, whether you're in ninth grade or 10th grade, and whether you have basketball as a passion and you want to play in college, or if it's just one of the sports you love to play, I think that's great. And we have different varying levels of what you can do, not only outside of the season, but during the season, to work on your skills, to get better, to work individually with coaches in the fall. And then, of course, in the spring, many of our basketball players are playing AAU or playing other sports, and then they can get some shots up or work on their skills on the weekends. So working on your physical conditioning when you're younger, working on your basketball skills, playing against older players, I think that's always a way to really make yourself better. But again, I do want to be very clear. At the core of what we do is having fun. I like to compete. That's fun to me. But if you're an incoming ninth grader or an incoming 10th grader, I think you should know that playing at the junior level, playing at the junior varsity level, there are steps that you take to build yourself up to where these two young men are right now. So we want to have fun. We want to compete. We want to be good teammates, be around each other. But yes, it's these guys are a finished product versus where you start. Trust me. When I was a freshman in high school, I think Coach Compton, I was about 5 feet tall and maybe like 117 pounds. So right, Garrett. So I looked a little bit different than I do now. But it's a process. It takes some time. But that's what makes it fun for coaches to kind of see how these young men sort of develop over the 2, 3, or 4 years they're here.
I can envision you as a scrappy ninth grade player. Back to Garrett and Darius. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with the coaching staff and how they're supportive in your time here, being away from home as a boarding student, as a student athlete?
The relationship with coaches, it was great. I mean, my brother was already here before me, so I started my relationship with them when I was in the 7th grade, and it kept continuing to grow and grow. They've all helped me in different ways, like showing up to workouts, giving me pointers on stuff like that, making sure I'm getting my work done in the classroom, making sure I'm being the best guy around campus. They've been great, and I couldn't ask for better.
Yeah, I mean, for me, only having a year really with them, they're always in my ear, always positive words of encouragement, and like it definitely made me perform better on the court, but also off the court, made me think about things much differently and just becoming a better man, definitely, from learning from all the coaches.
And we're going to stick with the players here. How about, are there any traditions, highlights, special moments that you kind of remember from your time as a basketball player at Episcopal?
I would say we had a lot of special moments together. I would say my special moment was my freshman year when we won the St. Stephen's tournament, and I was playing with my brother, and I hadn't played with my brother in many years, and I want to say that was one of our first championships together. Okay. So it was pretty fun for me. It was a fun experience for me.
I think one special moment I thought about last year was just a moment when we all as a team kind of come together was the early return we have during winter break, where we're the only people on campus, and it's kind of we play a couple games, but mostly we're practicing, and you kind of just really gel with all the guys and spending time with each other off the court. So that was definitely like kind of embodied Episcopal for me last year.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Coach, can you talk a little bit about what the off season might look like as you guys are preparing for your competition, and then maybe along those lines, just a little bit about the league and the teams that we play?
Absolutely. First and foremost, again, for our younger students, I would hope that their off seasons are they're participating in other sports. We still very much believe in the multi-sport athlete here at Episcopal, particularly at the younger ages. I think it's great for physical development. I think it's great for connecting with other students on campus. And I think it's great for their mental and emotional stability and health. But we also are aware that as you grow up, as you kind of continue down a certain path, you may have a passion in basketball or really in any other sport. So if you follow that passion, what is it going to look like for you? Like for Darius and Garrett, even though Darius was a superstar track athlete as well, but what's it going to look like as you get older? Well, in the fall, when you arrive for school, you're going to spend a week or two just getting acclimated and focusing in with your academics, okay, which is why we're all here. You focus in, you get settled in the classroom, make sure you're connecting with your teachers. And then in the fall, we begin fall workouts. Our league has some rules and restrictions about how many players can be in the gym working with a coach at one time. However, we do have opportunities, I would say 2 to 3 during the week, where either myself or one of our assistant coaches, usually our assistant coaches, because the guys will tell you they hear my voice enough. So usually one of the assistant coaches will work out with them 2 or 3 times a week for maybe 60 minutes, 90 minutes in the gym. Skill work, small group work, one-on-one, two-on-two work to really prep for the season. Conditioning is also a big part of that, and many of our kids will be lifting weights on their own time as well. Then when you roll into your season, and even though our season is more condensed than maybe a college season, or we do have our breaks, Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's still pretty intense. It's November through February, and we've been very fortunate to play in a lot of championship games. Wish we won all of them, but we've been fortunate to play in many of them. And so that takes you all the way into February, sometimes even into the first week of March. And then the students will transition into either their spring sport or getting ready for spring AAU, which has become a big part of the landscape of basketball. Who do we play during the season? Well, we're in 2 separate sort of leagues. We're in the IEC, which is comprised of 6 member schools in the DMV, or the DC, Maryland and Virginia area, Northern Virginia area. That's a terrific league, some really impressive schools, very impressive players. We also play in our state organization, which is VISAA, and we play in the top division, which is a truly impressive group of schools and basketball schools. Many future college players, even a couple of current NBA players of guys we played in the past, and it's challenging, but rewarding. The good news is in our location, we usually don't have to go too far outside of our area, usually within a 30 to 45-minute window to play an incredibly competitive schedule. But we will sometimes go down to Richmond. Sometimes we'll go up to Pennsylvania for tournaments or games. So it's a very, very regional schedule. So the reason that's important is because we get great competition in, great games, but we also don't have to have overwhelming travel so that the young men can still focus on their academics and being social with their peers. So I feel like it's a great balance for students that want to come from across the country, locally, or even around the world. You come to Episcopal, and I think you have really everything at your fingertips that you need.
Thanks, Coach. Question for the players. Can you talk a little bit about how do you balance playing a sport at Episcopal with the academic demands, your social life? Do you find that's pretty easy to balance?
I wouldn't say it's pretty easy to balance. I definitely think it's a challenge. I mean, you just have to pretty much map each and every day out on how you want to get your work done. So for me, I usually would try to work out in the mornings at around 6 a.m. before everyone else is up and going. Then I have class. And then after school, we'd have practice. And after practice, I'd just go up and lift. And then I still have time for social in between that lift and the time of study hall. So I'd say I have about a good hour or 15 hour and a half to socialize with my other friends. So I think it's just about how you balance out your day.
Yeah, like Darius said, it's definitely challenging, but there's ways to do it. He gets his workouts in the morning, but I usually do mine at night. So I do mine either right before study hall or in between like the block 9 to 10. So seniors, we get that study hall block. We can do what we want now, so that's kind of nice. But so yeah, you just kind of find time to do your work, whether that's free periods, study hall, or just in between classes, finding time to get your work done and find time to be with your friends. And yeah, you can usually work it out.
Great. So I've got one more question for the guys, and then Coach, if you have any kind of closing comments that you wanted to make, and then we'll wrap it up. But what's it like playing in Centennial Gym in front of a packed crowd?
Oh, it's fun. I mean, you get a lot of love and support from your teammates, your coaches, your friends, your fans. Like, I mean, it's like you see everyone every day, and then they come out to support you. So it's not like you don't know too many people that are in the crowd. It's a fun environment. Everyone's cheering you on. They don't say anything bad about you. Everything's good.
Yeah, it's definitely cool coming from a public school and then coming to this environment where all the students are already on campus. So everyone pretty much is coming to the games unless they got something to do. And it's, all your friends. So it's definitely a really cool environment. It gets really loud in there. So yeah, I love it.
Great. Thanks, Darius and Garrett. Coach, any closing comments that you wanted to make?
One quick question for the guys, just so that the students watching and the families watching, and be honest, but would you say that playing here is truly a fun experience? I mean, is it? I know it's hard work sometimes, but do you derive great enjoyment from being a part of the team, being with the coaches, and playing ball here at Episcopal?
Oh no, I definitely enjoy it. I wouldn't want to play anywhere else. I mean, you and the coaching staff, you've been great. You've been nothing but good to me. You've been guiding me in the right direction, pushing me to be the best player I can be and best student athlete I can be. So I couldn't have asked for better.
Yeah, not only do we like the lighthearted times where we're able to have fun, but even like in the hard working times, like you can find the fun in it. Like the competitiveness we have in our practices is high level. And then we get in the locker room, it's all love. We're all family. So yeah, I love it. I love playing here.
And Mr. Conklin, I didn't set them up to sort of say how good the coaching staff is. I promise that's not why I did it. But the reason I asked the question of those two young men is because I've said this for the entire time I've been at Episcopal. I do this, our coaching staff does this because we love the relationships that we have, not only with each other, but with our players, with our students. I can think back to all 15 previous years, and every team we've had, some have won championships, some have not, some have had some special moments, some have had some really tough moments. But that's what keeps bringing me back. And that's what allows me to do what I get to do with guys like this, and hopefully future players as well. It's the relationships, it's the fun, it's the camaraderie, it's the excitement of being in Centennial Gym, as you say. So the positive experience that not only the coaches and the players, the fans, the students, everybody at EHS has around the boys basketball program, I think is electric. I think it's exciting. And hopefully we'll keep doing this for years to come. I sure hope so. If the students out there come, we will keep doing it.
Well, great. Well, thanks so much, Darius and Garrett, for joining us, and Coach Fitz for your comments. We have a great basketball program at all different levels, and we hope if you're interested, you have the chance to reach out to Coach. He had his contact information on one of those earlier slides, and he'll be happy to answer any questions you have. So thanks a lot.
No problem.